Today in the shop we got this Fender Princeton in. The customer bought it brand new in 1971 and has kept it in immaculate condition. Unfortunately, it's in the shop, so that does mean it has a problem. Here's what it sounds like right now. Let's take a little peek under the hood here. The grand reveal. Look at that. Almost all of these components are original. It has had some work over the years, which is good. You really like to see that. Namely, the main filter caps have been replaced. The bias supply has been rebuilt. A lot of the old carbon comp resistors in the power section have been changed out for metal oxide. And most importantly, the AC wiring has been redone so that it's up to modern standards. So the first thing I'm going to check here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to see if the output tubes are biased correctly. And the bias is spot on. So I got this alligator clip attached to my multimeter lead because I'm going to go in and I'm going to start doing voltage measurements. And the number one thing when you're doing this, like, you know, working in a live amp, you never want to have two hands inside the chassis at once. That is, you know, great potential for getting hit with a lethal voltage. So I got the schematic printed out and I'm just gonna take a whole bunch of voltage measurements until I find something that is not right. And right here I set the meter to AC and there's 76 volts AC on the main DC line, which is not good. That would be the cause of our issue. So here's the schematic. It's fairly simple, all things considered. And there is 76 volts AC on the main DC supply for the tubes. So that leads me to believe that one or all of these filter capacitors are bad, because those filter capacitors are supposed to filter out the AC from that line. This is the original Mallory branded filter capacitor from 1968. The previous technician just disconnected it from the circuit but left it installed to keep the whole original parts together, I guess. But we're going to be replacing it with a direct drop-in replacement for that. So these are the gray Illinois capacitor brand filter caps that were previously installed. Had a bit of a learning experience at this part. I realized that you really cannot do these chassis grounds with, you know, this wimpy little soldering iron. So after fumbling around with it for a bit, I decided to just go out and buy a bigger soldering iron. So, now that I got the correct tool for the job, I'm just going to go ahead and uninstall that old Mallory branded capacitor. I know this looks a little barbaric, you know, prying up solder joints with a screwdriver, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I really probably should have gotten a soldering iron that was even more powerful than this. I think this is a 150 watt from Lowe's, but it's all I could really find, so that's what we're working with. So this is the old original capacitor from 1968. And this is the new one that I am installing from CE Manufacturing. So after cleaning up them solder joints, you know, really make sure there's no flux on there, because flux will corrode the steel on the chassis. Get everything in place and just solder it exactly the same as the old one was. And after installing that and cleaning it up, turned out that solved all the problems. I just cleaned up the Tolex a little bit and the knobs. I didn't take any pictures really. And here's what it sounds like.